Hello there and welcome to High on the Bookshelf with Barb and Simi. I'm Barb.
And I am Simi, and we talk about books where women are strong and men are dreamy.
Hello there and welcome to High on the Bookshelf podcast with Barb and Simi. I'm Barb.
And I am Simi, and today we are talking about strong women and dreamy men of Crescent City, which is a series written by Sarah J. Maas.
We're gonna talk about storylines, we're gonna talk about spies. Is there any? Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna talk about the characters and
We're gonna cover also world building because there is a lot of it in those. Like I think this is the most. Throne of Glass has a lot of world building, but we are talking about 8 books. These are 3 books, and the world building, I guess, is like comparably complex and huge to the one in Throne of Glass.
I would say that's even more complicated, a little bit more complicated. We're gonna explore some theories. We're gonna talk about.
We're gonna very like the amateurs. We are into physics and
we're
astronomy.
gonna talk a lot about physics and about the black holes and wormholes because we are total experts.
Also,
if you're physicists, just like stop now.
or stay over here for entertainment and just for the laugh. Also, we're gonna talk about the choice of underwear.
Oh yeah,
and its impact on health and
some situations and some spy scenes that we maybe found a little bit disturbing.
Very unpractical choices were made.
Yeah. So I mean, there's gonna be some spies discussed here.
Also the holes, the black hole and the wormhole.
And the holes.
Not in a spicy context. And
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's dive in. Hello, Barb.
Hello, Simi. So today we have Crescent City with us.
Yeah.
And
How did you feel about the series?
I liked it, but it just like I had some weird aftertaste at the end, because like before I was reading Throne of Glass, I was reading Akotar, and while they were both different, this was also different. Mm-hmm. But I felt like it had so much potential, but something was missing, Mm-hmm. And I think that we will go into more detail as we talk about characters, about storylines and everything. But in general, I liked it. And I think it had a little bit more potential than it does.
Oh, I think it had much more potential.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first book... I think that I might have enjoyed the first book even more than most of the Akotar books.
Yeah, that's true. And you remember I wrote you actually that I like this more than Akotar.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I was missing in Akotar was that like there was like some serious situation,
Mm-hmm.
like something was going on, and you are like, oh my god, how they're gonna resolve it? And 2 pages later, solved, easy. Let's have sex.
But I mean, look at how thick those books are.
Yeah.
They're thick.
and we will get also into that topic later. So. Yeah, this was like sometimes too long, but in general, I liked even second book a lot. Third book was a little bit let down for me, but yeah, I would go for the 4th book if Sarah writes it. I would go to.
I mean, honestly, anything that woman writes, like that goes like automatically to my card, and I am paying whatever money she will ask for that.
Yeah, pre-order immediately, like in my diary, it would be like with a little heart, I would know exactly when it goes out. So yeah, I mean, Sarah is a genius, and I think that the next book is gonna be Akotar, but she's also talking that there could be a 4th book of Crescent City, but she's now like prioritizing with her publisher some maybe new project.
Oh yeah, I actually like maybe we will get another series.
Maybe, and let's not forget that she's young, right? Like us. We're basically around the same age, like she's our pal in our minds. So she has a lifetime of series she can give us, and I like how she's, and we're gonna have a podcast specifically about Mass first, but I like to say that I like how she's progressing in her style, but also in those characters, because like Throne of Glass was the first series she wrote, you know.
Yeah.
Very little spice, very young male, female character, very old.
Very old shit already.
Yeah, but here, you know, like they're less teenage, let's say, or less.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 20-somethings, all of them, but they are more mature.
Yeah,
I
but
would
hear
say.
me out, and this might be yet again something for the Master universe, but since we are discussing the topic, I still like the Throne of Glass the best, though.
Oh my
It's
God,
like her first series, the emotional damage,
Man. Yeah.
I mean,
like, look at us, you know.
I think it's pretty clear.
Who we are rooting for.
For the people who are listening to this, we are wearing a Man on Black Big and Lysandra t-shirts.
Yeah, and they are characters and they are none of them is main character, but they are characters in Throne of Glass, and we recommend it. So if you read Crescent City and Akotar or one of those, you know, go for Throne of Glass. I mean,
you won't like it for the spice, because there is basically none for a couple of books, and there is like very little later on.
Yeah.
But the character development is chef's kiss. Anyways, let's not go deep into that. Let's go deep into the Crescent City.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, about Throne of Glass and Akotar, we already have podcasts, so we had to Spotify to listen to them if you read them. But yeah, let's go back to Crescent City.
Welcome to Lunathion. Meet Bryce Quinlan.
Yay! Yeah, actually, I must say that Bryce at the beginning, she was like my favorite characters of all Masswares.
So you didn't hate her? Like...
No, I didn't. I actually liked her, you know, like and you know what I liked about her? I probably told you already that. Her quote, "I let people think the worst of me so I can see who they truly are." And this is something I'm extremely struggling with as a person, you know, like as people in my generation, not all millennials, but you know it, right? We were raised to be people pleasers.
Yeah.
Right? And to worry what other people think about us and all this kind of shit. And I like that she challenges it, you know, that she's like, yeah, I don't give a damn, you know, I'm this party girl and think about me the worst, you know.
Yeah, she actually encourages people to think the worst about her, especially like, and I think it's pretty clear in the beginning when I love the scene when she just doesn't give a fuck about. I mean, Hunt is a motherfucking Umbra Mortis, very dangerous, like zero sense of humor, zero like. It doesn't deal with the shit, and Quinlan is like, I know we are supposed to like solve this mystery, but let me get my manicure first. and he thinks, and she actually plays into that picture of her being the party princess, and really lets Hunt steam in that shit. Right?
Yeah, but she's also saying like there's nothing wrong about it being a party girl. She said it in the book.
Yeah.
You know, like what's wrong about it?
Exactly.
I mean, like, you can be whatever you want.
What I like about Bryce that, I mean, she's the girly girl. Like, she likes to wear pretty dresses. She likes to take care of herself. And I loved how Sarah, again, builds the character. Like, she walks us through her routine. Like, she takes the shower. She does her makeup. And we learn a lot about how Bryce really cares about her looks, and she takes pride. Also, one thing that I really liked about her, she's described as the curvy girl. We don't really get much specifics, but she's like not that usual thin girl. She's described like having ample bosom. She has like really nice big ass. And I like again for Chin, like that body positivity is really nice there, and she's like she feels extremely comfortable in her own body.
Yeah, and she's wearing all those tight dresses and everything. But honestly, like when I was imagining her, body positivity wasn't the thing that came to my mind. Jessica Rabbit was what came to my mind.
Oh.
Because like that's how I imagine her, you know, like okay, she has big boobs, but you know, she's like perfect hourglass. Yeah, but I saw fan fiction where she's not like perfect hourglass, you know, like she's like
You
also
know,
story and everything,
you
and she
know
looks great.
who I imagine very much like the red hair, perfect hourglass figure, and saucy attitude. Have you seen Mad Men?
No.
Okay, so there is one actress playing the office manager. I will show you the picture later, and yeah, she's like the perfect Bryce Quinlan for me.
Okay.
She's that girl.
Yeah, and let's not forget that now those Kardashian girls are popular, so and they are like sporting this unnatural hourglass,
Yeah.
you know, like I don't think she's there anywhere close,
No.
hopefully.
I very much like strong, independent female character like Aileen, like Feyre. But I also like that girly girl. Like I also like that Sarah presented us with a heroine that can be girly girl and still can be badass.
Yes.
You know, like she's not like not wearing the armor all the time. So that's what I like about Bryce very much. I like her stuff. I like she gives like zero fucks about being followed by like the most dangerous man in the city.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we learned also about her that she's a good friend, right? That she has issue with a man who can be territorial and obsessive, and you know she notices those like red flags that we find out is because of her biological father, you know, and the way how he treated her mother. And also the fact that like her stepfather is actually such a nice guy.
Oh my god! I love Randall Silago.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, like she got the good example who was raising her, and she was aware of those toxic traits. So like she didn't go into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the end of the series, she practically dismantled the patriarchy that is ruling the faith. Single-handedly dismantling the patriarchy and the monarchy that is the current system of the Fae.
Yeah, and
house.
she killed
People,
the
race. Is that the race Fae, or is it like
species
type of veneer? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And let's not forget, like she murdered the misogynist king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually,
she killed him.
No, Rune killed his father.
Yeah, but she killed.
She killed the Mormon.
Yeah.
The Mormon guy.
Yeah, the king of Avalon. Yeah. So see. She did that. She
did like I can absolutely imagine that, like doing in tight dress and high heels and looking fabulous.
Yeah, and lacy tongues.
Of course.
But we will get there.
Yeah, we have a thing
we're gonna discuss.
That's important. Like her choice of underwear in specific situations will be the topic we will discuss a bit later.
Yeah.
So we meet Bryce and then we meet Danica.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say a little bit with Bryce, because I noticed on Reddit, you know, and in these discussions that people were not really happy always about Bryce and her behavior. Some people even ask for a redemption story for her. Like it's not enough that she saved the entire world, right? I mean, maybe some people are also saying that she was not consistently written, you know, or she changed behavior and she had some questionable behavior sometimes.
But really, okay, I get it. And I agree, she did a lot of questionable shit. But I think, like, yet again, that's typical Sarah approach. Like, she will give flaws to her heroines.
Yes.
And that's what makes them relatable. I think it's... I don't know if it's realistic or not, but can you really enjoy reading about perfect, flawless people? Like, it gets boring for me.
Yeah, like they're then one-dimensional. And for example, in these books, like and that's like thing with Sarah, like she never gives us like goodies. You know, like people are just good and like, you know, I'm not gonna say angels because we learned here that angels don't have to be nice. But she gives us a lot of characters who are, in these books in particular, who are like truly evil. And we'll get to that. But yeah, when it comes to Bryce, I mean, yeah, she did the questionable things, like, but I liked her anyway, you know.
I liked her more than the main female character in Akatar.
Oh yeah. I think that everyone.
Okay.
But yeah, she didn't set the budget high.
I mean, like she's definitely sitting somewhere in like my top 5
of all characters, female characters. Yeah. For me too. She's somewhere on the top. somewhere.
Yeah. I think like the inconsistency a lot of people might have beef with is not about the character development. It's just like entire third book, and the way it's written. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Feels off.
Yeah. So, but let's get back to Danica. Danica shows up at the beginning of the book, right? Mm-hmm. We're getting to know her. She sounds fun. She sounds to be cool girl to be like. I'd like to be Danica.
I like the relationship between them. I love the friendship.
Yeah.
And I was so much looking forward that strong female friendship that will go through like the book, and we kind of got that. But because Danica was killed off in like a couple of chapters.
It was just what the fuck moment. I'm like, and she's going to date the Connor finally, and Danica's there, and you got to like Danica, and I'm like, no. And you remember, like, when we heard first about Connor, I told you, I know he's not gonna, if I learn something from this book, he's not gonna be the main male character, he's gonna be secondary, he's gonna be the first one, the first important one, because all we know that she's not a virgin for a long time. He has no business there, right? But he's gonna be the one. He's gonna prepare us for the main guy. Yeah. But man, I didn't expect him to die. Like seriously, and now I have to say, I need the prequel. I need the prequel with Danica, and I need a prequel with Peg of Devils. Even though,
I really need to know like how the fuck Danica pulled all that secrets and shit. Because and that's what actually really infuriates me a bit. Actually quite a lot, is that we see the relationship between Danica and Bryce through Bryce's lenses, right? Where she loved her. There is like really strong connection. She thinks she's the best. And what bothers me is that we learned Danica kept a lot of secrets, and while Bryce trusted Danica so much, that trust wasn't reciprocated from Danica's point of view. For a reason, okay, we can now theorize and try put ourselves in Danica. She's like, okay, there might be a number of reasons I'm not gonna delve into right now actually, but still it's something that I feel betrayed on Bryce's behalf.
Yeah, because what does it say about their friendship? Was it really true? And she was pissed. And she was rightfully pissed, at her. But still, like, even like we saw in Bryce's storyline, that she was pissed a couple of times. Yet she was always quick to forgive, and because like the love for somebody else, just even though she was angry, extremely angry, that love always stopped it.
Yeah, and another thing about Danica that kind of bugs me, like she was used to like solve any plot holes and inconsistencies. Like every time we kind of like get into a messy situation and like suddenly there's like this Deus Ex Machina situation when Sarah gave us the explanation like, oh, that was yet another secret Danica kept from everybody else. Like, man, I'm like after the third time it got really old and I was like super annoyed by that.
Yeah, and also I don't get like that she tattooed horn into her friend without
what the fuck. Also, like what the fuck, Danica.
Yeah, I mean, like we know it's like extremely powerful tool. Probably she knew that she's starborn. Apparently, see, she knew her secrets. Yeah, well, it wasn't the other way around. And she tattooed it on her, like without like letting her know or something. You remember at the beginning, Bryce was searching for that horn.
Oh, that was also hilarious. Like she was searching for the horn while wearing that motherfucking horn all the time on her back.
There's a situation like I always like when I have my glasses in my hand and I'm like searching for that. I'm like, well, I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is.
Or I'm like searching for my mobile phone and I'm holding the mobile phone in my hand. Yeah, that happens. I don't know, maybe
it happens to you. Like, just admit it. We know it does.
One quote I want to mention over here to illustrate that imbalance in relationship between Danica and Bryce. Like in the beginning, there was like mentioned like maybe Danica stole the horn. And Bryce is like, no! Bryce said quietly, no. Danica might have kept the things from me, but I knew her heart. She never would have sought a weapon as dangerous as the horn. Something that could jeopardize the world like that. I mean, did you really know her, girl? You did not.
Yeah, you did not. And it's not your fault. I mean, like, you were a naive, trusting friend. And
so I'm like... And these are the points where I get, like, extremely angry with Danica, because, like, she was... I mean, like, what was her endgame? What was Danica endgame?
I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea.
I have no idea either, right?
Mm-hmm. No, and I'm, like, a little bit disappointed that she didn't trust Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, like, apparently she told her the secret that could get her killed, probably. And, yeah.
So, anyways.
So, Danica, yeah.
So, and then we meet...
And
Umbra Mortis.
Yeah. Yeah, and usually, in these books, the main male character, they are like this morally grey, they have a couple of red flags around them, sometimes more, sometimes less, and we know about him that he's working for this archangel Micah, that he's killing demons, but not just that he's not just hunting demons, he's also killing people he tells him to,
Like he's hired assassin.
Yeah, basically. But since we are reading, this is not our first series with Sarah, we kind of are fond of assassins. They're not bad people. No,
assassins are cool. I mean,
yeah, unless they're in the real world, then we are not fans of them. But if they're...
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy.
In the fantasy world,
anything
goes.
Let's not overanalyze this.
Yeah, in the fantasy world, anything goes. But other than that, I didn't see any red flags around. He was all kind from the beginning.
He was, but like, I mean, I can think of a couple of at least orange flags.
Okay, what do you mean?
Like,
what do you mean about my man?
I mean, he wasn't able to move on from what happened to Shahar after 200 years.
Well, but it's common with these heroes, there is always some tragic backstory and
lack of therapists that will...
Yeah, I mean, like, they didn't have... But no, in Crescent City they had therapists, I'm sure.
That's true. And that was, like, also, like, in every fucking episode we are talking about mental health and the need for therapy, and finally we find ourselves in the world where therapy is available, and Bryce is like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
I like feeling depressed.
Nah. But, and this is it again, like, typical for Sarah. She feels bad because what happened to Connor and her behavior just before that. She feels kind of responsible because she wasn't there.
She feels guilty.
She feels guilty. And it again,
and she feels shame.
She feels shame, and she's not ready to let go those feelings. Like she kind of feels like punishing herself by not getting better.
Yes.
But by not seeking help.
Yeah.
That's why she doesn't really wanna get help also from like physical point of view, and kind of like get that scarred on her thigh fix.
Yeah, and it's like extremely painful, but she just wants to keep it as a memento of like how she fucked up. And I mean, like, let's not blame her, because we know that after this happened, she couldn't go even for the sailing. Everyone was angry at her. And they were angry at her because, like, she traded her place with Danica in Afterworld. They are angry at her. Ethan is angry at her because she fucked this guy But she was not in a relationship with Connor yet. She just agreed to go on a fucking pizza with him. Come on, I mean, like, she can do whatever.
I mean, but it is explained like in the Shifter's world, like everybody was kind of expecting this to happen, and I think like since Ethan kind of had a crush on Bryce, like he took it very personally.
Yeah, but like I mean, it's like it's but yeah, they're like animals, like, oh, I peed on her.
Yeah, exactly. She's mine. I claim her. I will like bite her leg.
Pizza. Yeah, and I mean like also her before her dating choices were like very questionable.
Oh my god, the Redner guy.
Yeah, and
what's his face?
And actually, it's kind of weird that, like, I thought it's gonna come up somehow in the storyline later that she was just like, oh yeah, you dated the guy from that, like, Redner Industries. Oh yeah, that's it. Like, I thought that it's gonna come up somewhere, in storyline. But anyway, so Hunt,
So finally, we buried Connor.
We said goodbye to.
Actually, fun thing. We first get to see things through Isaac's point of view, and I was like really tuned in for Isaac to be the male character.
Really? No, I knew his hand from the moment she got after the murder and everything, how she got there into the prison cell, or interrogation. I knew he's the one because he was protecting her there already. Yeah. And it's just like, for me, it was like hand immediately. I knew it's him. They had like this funny relationship, like she's provoking him there, and the heat is starting to build up, something's gonna happen. There is this like close proximity, he has to watch her, then he kind of lives with her, and then there are like these moments, and I know like we're gonna talk about this. I just want to talk about this scene, like
let's talk about the scene.
Let's talk about the scene where he comes home after murdering again, like tearing apart some people alive for Micah, and he goes home and he thinks that she's sleeping, otherwise he wouldn't come, and he's totally withdrawn from himself, and he goes to bathroom and he's washing himself with like boiling water. So basically what's happening to him, like his skin is burning and it's like fixing itself in the same time, and it's just so sad. She comes there and she helps him clean him, and then they went to bed, and he actually grabbed her like he wanted to be, and she was,
and if I think this was the scene. Han says in his inner monologue, she smells like home. That was like very very nice, emotional, like and I just realized why I love the scene so much. Because he's so vulnerable.
Yeah, probably.
She takes care of him, and usually, like this is the trope. Like you have the strong, dangerous guy that takes care of the weaker female. Yet again, the roles are reversed, and she takes care. And you think she's in a very feminine way, like not saving his ass in the dangerous situation. That's the girly girl part of Bryce. I love so much. That she kind of like washes him, puts him to sleep, strokes his hair and everything, and is a very strong female character without need to be like that, strong in the masculine kind of way. You understand?
Yeah, I get it.
I hope you guys get the gist of what I'm trying to say. It's complicated thought.
I mean, you can feel the love through pages. You can feel the emotions, and I love them for that. Yeah.
Oh, I love when she started to take pictures. First of all, like selfies, then like pictures together. She started to use funny nicknames and keep changing her contact name in Hans. And there's like actually a lot of foreshadowing in those nicknames. Well, first one is Bryce is a queen. And she ends up being queen of Avalon and Valburn Faye. Yeah. Then it was Bryce kicks ass. I mean, like, she totally kicked Micah's ass.
Not just his. Regulus can.
Yeah, like Astery's ass. Bryce is cooler than me. She's definitely cooler than Han.
Yeah, she is, and if you look at it literal way, she dies, so she's cooler than
Oh yeah.
They have the resurrector, so yeah, she's very cool.
And the last one, Bryce thinks Han is the best.
He is the best. Yeah, I think so too. He's just a...
And that's why, like, and these tidbits. I mean, like the relationship was beautifully built, and I like that. Like, it wasn't that instant love, like love at first sight. They were building towards that, and that's what for me yeah, kind of, and that's what made it like it felt really real.
Yeah,
because usually that's how you fall in love, like with these small gestures, and
you're saying you didn't like see your husband like, wow, I marry you? No.
No, I mean, we fell for each other really quickly, but again, that was because of those like small tidbits, and it felt really nice, like warm, kind of feeling, fuzzy. I love that, and that's why I was fucking angry how their relationship was described through the third book. I mean, I get it that we need to create some kind of conflict because like there isn't obviously not enough shit going on, so let's fuck up Bryce and Han's relationship through that all. Like, and I get it. Like, okay, Han is struggling with this. I'm just a charger for Bryce. Like, I'm not my own person. I was made.
Do you think so? I didn't feel
I think like he was struggling.
I felt more there the different struggle that he was scared that the history is gonna repeat, and he finally has her and has everything, and now they are again part of another rebellion. You know, all those flashbacks, and he's scared he's gonna lose her like he lost Shahar.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel their ego. I felt this issue, like the fear of losing her.
That might be as well, but yet again, I still felt like he was struggling with this identity. Like, who am I? Am I just an appendix, accessory? Am I here just to serve that purpose? Which is also funny because, like, the entire thing between Bryce and Han felt like very intentional. Like they chose each other. And then you just like find out like nah. And again the like predestination played the part, and he was literally made for her.
Well, they're mates. But honestly, what I actually didn't like about the relationship, I mean, like I get this, you struggle internally about. I mean, nothing is perfect, no relationship, so it's okay. What I didn't like that it lost spark, and I think that what Sarah is great at doing, I mean, like, even in movies, in series, when there is this one, will they one day, there is this heat building up and everything, and it's just, like, going on, and then it happens, and then suddenly it's, like, no heat anymore, nothing. It's just, like, and Sarah was great, actually, at keeping it up, in, like, all her previous book, unless, in further books, those characters are a little bit sidelined, then it's just, like, sideline everything, But she's keeping it, those frequencies high. And here, the spark was there, the story was there. And suddenly, like, they got together and just, like, dropped. Like, you didn't feel the love, you didn't feel the passion, you didn't feel the energy in that relationship there. But and also, let's not forget Bryce having these chit-chats with Tyrion, like, where he was basically flirting with her and she was flirting back with everyone. And he just giggled. Like we don't expect him to go all this alpha hole, and like become protective. She's mine, blah blah blah. No, we don't want that. It just was like so weird, And
I mean, like, honestly, I didn't mind the banter between Bryce and Tharion. I felt like this is like their friendship, their thing, and actually, I like that Han wasn't going crazy about that.
No, yeah, I wouldn't like Han going crazy about it. It's just like. His reactions felt like a little bit out of place, like, and he giggled about it. Like, would he really? Like, he would just at best ignore it, I
Probably,
think.
yeah.
So it was kind of weird, and I mean, and let's talk about the heat and the sex scenes, and since this was our third series by Sarah, we have some standards. We have some expectations, right? And I'm afraid here it wasn't delivered. There were like these few scenes, like when they were all the time interrupted, and I remember,
oh my god, I was like, can you give those guys the break so they can fuck in peace?
Even at the end, I was like, yeah, ponies really like a mom. Well, anyways, ponies, flying ponies, like what the fuck. But then we got finally to that, and
the gym scene.
Well, there was one before Jim. That was her take on him.
Oh yeah, actually, that was kind of, I wouldn't say funny. It was kind of like anticlimactic. Like, she had so much fun, and then she was like, "Oh my god, you are bleeding!"
Oh yeah, that was actually that was when they were like
when they cut his wings.
Oh yeah. But then like she gave him a blowjob. Then and then there was the gym scene. But I don't remember the one with blowjob.
I don't remember that.
It was not memorable, apparently. Sorry. Yeah. But I remember like the marveling about the size and wondering, can it fit there?
Will it fit?
It turned out it did.
It always fits.
They were meant for each other.
Oh, maybe when we get to the monster romance, it won't fit.
Yeah. Okay.
Really curious.
Very curious.
Loving
that genre.
Loving the tag called creative anatomy. I'm very much looking forward to explore that.
Yeah, but let's get back to dream scene, which. Oh man!
Why?
What the fuck?
Oh no!
No, yeah.
And the fact
after workout, not that just like went there for some alibi or something, or just discuss something.
Also, like imagine like they are putting it off like for so long, and kind of like you feel like they're building towards something special, and this is so anticlimactic to me.
Yeah,
pun intended.
Yeah. Okay, they had the workout, both of them worked out, right? She's in like, the stuff you are wearing when you are in gym, it's all polyester. You are sweating in that. It's just like, doesn't sound great.
So so she's wearing the lacy.
Also, she's wearing lacy tongue. Who is wearing lacy tongue in gym? Tell me. Is it you? I saw some, actually I have to say, like in gym, I saw some women who are, because you are having those leggings, and some women likes to wear them to show up somehow their butt in those leggings.
They feel comfortable in it, but I really like when you are sweating that artificial material.
Hello, fuck guy.
It's I don't think it's like extremely healthy for your skin. I would definitely go for some like natural materials, cotton or something that really absorbs the sweat.
Yeah, I think this is like building environment for different kind of fungi and candida and stuff.
Exactly.
But then again, like let's not forget, in these worlds they don't have STDs.
They probably don't have like any
they immediately heal, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have parasites in the water, so yeah, that's that.
At least they have something, right?
It's not a fucking paradise, by the way.
Yeah, so that is a very questionable choice of underwear for gym. And it's obvious she's not in her 30s, because when you're in your 30s...
like, you dress for comfort.
Yeah,
and if you are wearing thongs to gyms, they are cotton, like 100% cotton, ideally organic.
I'm all for organic cotton.
And this isn't being sponsored by any company.
But if any company with organic cotton underwear wants to sponsor us, like, yes, please. We can talk.
Send us the shit.
Yeah, so yeah, and then he gets down on her, and she smells divine and exquisite as always.
But don't they always do? Like,
yeah, but serious, she was just sweating in this like polyester stuff, and then like the tongues, and it's just like seriously, like, and she even is like self-conscious, at that point she's like, she's not feeling that comfortable about that, like, oh well, we just worked out, but apparently,
I don't know, like maybe take shower first.
Yes, please. And also, like, let's not forget those angels, they can smell everything. They can...
Oh, they have, like, a very much heightened sense of smell.
Yeah, and he's, like, just so happy about that.
Maybe that's his thing.
But yes, and also they like... Yeah, like, I just remembered.
Or maybe just, like, face don't sweat in that way,
I think they do. I like the resting. Okay, they all smell like pines and cinnamon and everything, but sweaty cinnamon is still something you don't want to like, put your tongue on. But yeah, when you said kings, I just remembered, like, there are people who will pay for like your socks you wore.
Yeah, and use underwear.
Well, it's an easy way to make money though. Yeah, but let's not go into that world. This was still, it was off-putting for me. I just couldn't feel it. I felt awkward.
The choice of underwear, the fact that they didn't shower, and like the entire
setup,
was like very taking me out of the scene, and
well, there was definitely no turn on for me.
yeah, and there was like and then I have issues with like entire spice in those 3 books, because first of all, every time they try to have sex, like usually something came in and they got interrupted, then they got this really weird thing. Oh yeah, I just hit my calorie goal.
Oh, congratulations!
Just my hands.
It seems that you're running.
I'm very passionate about these topics, and,
Yes,
and obviously
spice,
my
yeah.
body is burning calories. Like
Yeah, burning for them.
Speaking of spice, yeah. But then, like, they every time they had sex, like something weird happened. Like they transported because of the meshing of the energy or something. It completely took me out, and I really cannot say I enjoyed the spice in these books.
Yeah, even their like actual sex, first actual like penetrative sex. Let's call that. It was on the Ocean's Queen submarine, right? And he was like pissed, you know, and he was like totally, you know, like ready to erupt all the storm and everything all around him, you know, like he was so angry. And she realized, I'm gonna solve it. I know how to. She took him there, you know, and then they teleported to other place. But it was just so weird.
I don't know, like really, I was like, oh yes, here comes finally some good spice, and then you are extremely weirded out by all the other stuff that is happening. Like, I don't know, no, this isn't like good spice stuff.
But she writes a better spice, like Akotar.
If you want a good spice, go for Akotar.
Yes, this is not. This wasn't it.
Yeah. But then, like, okay, no, but even like spice scenes between Rune and Lydia. The first they had like this meta sex between their souls.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, the idea is interesting, but still, like, just give me just straight action. I would prefer that.
And the straight action was nothing boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, like this is funny, but I think the hottest thing was actually him with the phone. Yeah, on the party. You know that he knew the 3 things with absolute certainty. Yeah, you know, there was a phone on his face, basically.
Oh yes, yeah, the Rune performing cunnilingus.
Yeah, and I had some expectations. Again, they got interrupted, but anyways, I got like it said a bar, and I thought it's setting a bar, but it said nothing.
No. It was
I thought
like
it's the starting point, but it was also the end point.
Yeah.
For me, Rune and any other creature.
So yeah. Talking about Rune.
So who is your book boyfriend?
Rune motherfucking Dana. I liked how yet again we are introduced to him as like this partying frat boy, which is not attractive at all. It's like really 50 years old, like no, he's 50 or 70 years old guy living with his buddies in a frat house. Not sexy at all. But then, you know, there's like a lot of character development happening when it comes to Rune. He stepped up as a brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He is yet again slowly stepping up and kind of like managing that relationship with his father. And then I really liked the relationship with him and Lydia. Mm-hmm. That was fun part. Like I enjoyed reading about that. And I know I kind of like bashed on their astral sex, but the entire banter between day and night, I had so much fun. Probably that was because I had no fucking idea who the day was. Mm-hmm. And I was like, there was like this intriguing female character, and I knew like this is somebody we know from the books. I wasn't able to figure it out. I had to Google it out because I couldn't keep myself composed and wait for the revelation. I was like, no, fuck it, I need to know. And I was then don't do it. Like, don't ever Google those spoilers. It's not worth it.
No,
it's not. But I really like that relationship, and then that motherfucker shot her. And like, what the fuck? Oh,
yeah, but I wanted to protect her. So, well, some people have weird ideas about protecting. But anyways, like when we go back to who's Day, Agent Daybride, who did you think it might be before you Googled
I
it?
thought that was Celestina.
Yeah, I first thought it might be Hypaxia or Celestina. She was my hottest take because, you know, like there was this scenes like she's talking with him and then she's withdrawn to have sex with someone. She said she doesn't really like him, you know.
And that's why I thought it was Celestina, because I was thinking about Celestina and Ephraim.
Yeah. But then we had the scene with Celestina and Hypaxia in the closet. And you realized, okay...
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, okay, that was kind of surprise. And then I was thinking, like, who's gonna be that? And I was like, okay, it's gonna be somebody I don't expect. And then I was sleeping, you know. It was in the middle of the night, I woke up, it's Hind. It's her, you know, it's just like...
God.
Because in the scene, you remember, like, when they were supposed to meet, you know, he's going there is a harpy, and obviously it's not her. But Hind is looking from above, and he's like, okay, I have to get out of here. That's the moment I realized it's her.
I mean, like, I see you again. I see your life got absolutely consumed by Sarah J. Maas books. You are dreaming. You are living in that world. Mentally.
Right? Like after every series, I have to take a break. You know, Akotar was easy. You know, because it's just like
very sexy.
Very
like
sexy.
Eventually, the entire Accord of Silver Flames is just like very sexy.
Yeah. So basically, it's, you know, easy. You just don't feel overwhelmed at the end. After Throne of Glass, I was like totally crashed. After this, I was overwhelmed, like with so much happening. You know, like because here it's like too many species, too many worlds, too many characters.
The world building is really complex. Sarah provides us like with shitload of information that I don't think is like served in the most consumable way. Like it's really difficult to kind of like get through that, and you really have to think. Like even I have to like draw some graphs and kind of like make notes just to make sure I am following what's going on.
Yeah, I had to relax by reading about reading a book about quantum physics. For some reason, I felt it relaxing.
Like, this is lighter reading than fucking Crescent City series.
Well, yeah, I feel stupid when I'm reading it. It's like, okay, wait, I have to focus. So it's actually taking too much of my focus. So, yeah. Anyways, it's a great way, you know, to, after you finish like this kind of stuff, read something totally unrelated.
Yeah.
Just to like get your shit together again. So, but let's go back to Hind and their relationship. So, she comes there to save him first. Like when he's taken he's in Eternal City with Baxi and with Hind. They're in the dungeon, and she comes there and she actually like saved them, and she dies basically for him.
She jumps off that cliff.
Yeah, and Ron doesn't want to forgive her. I know you are angry, but like get over yourself, you know. And then she saves him, and then she dies, and that's when he like realized Lydia, you know, he screams and sent Tyrion for a suicide mission to get her body to save her, you know. And then she gets awake, and then she suddenly calls towards him. Okay, you didn't wanna hear my sobby sad story, sobby,
sappy as well.
Yeah, well, whatever. Sob story. Well, anyway, she totally changes attitude, you know, and I get her in a way. On the other side, like, it's so weird to me, you know, like, so you just gave your life for him right now, and then like you are awake, you are alive again, and you are pissed at him.
I don't know, like, honestly, when she woke up on the depth charger, I felt like her priorities shift completely. Like, she dropped everything and she went to her kids. Yeah. And honestly, as a mother, I kind of like absolutely get it. Like, I don't care about fucking Rundana, and I have 2 kids that I really need to see right now.
Yeah, that's true. But honestly, like this storyline, you know, like we needed probably a story like why she changed, why she's not like this mindless killer as other people from like the Sandriels.
Yeah.
But I don't think I care that she had children, honestly.
Actually, I kind of like I wish maybe that would be like more prominent in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt represented, right? Like it's really not like usually you don't come across the heroine that is his mother as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I could relate to her much more because I felt like she turned into that badass woman because she had to protect her children. She wanted to create a better world for her children, and that this is something I can very much relate to.
Mm-hmm. That's true, but it's just like somehow it just felt useless for me for the story for some reason.
Yeah, I think like, yet again, I think it could have been handled slightly better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I as a mother didn't care about it. Sorry. Yeah, but at the end, they ended up together. They found out that they're mates, and yeah. And I think that in Massverse we're gonna talk about her heritage.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bloodlines. So let's not go there now. So, and then there are a few characters that are very, very interesting.
Yeah, what I love about Sora character development, she takes side characters and make them like extremely interesting, and sometimes you find yourself caring about side characters much more than the main characters. They are constructed like with a lot of love and care, and you care about them. They are very much relatable, and I just love that. Like the ensemble of characters that is presented in each of Sora's works is just, I think, like one of her best features as author.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And I mean, let's talk about Ethan.
I love the guy.
Yeah, whatever he touches, he fucks it up completely. But I like him, but man, I know you said that you were excited to read about him every time he showed up.
I was curious, like, how he's gonna fuck up this time? I really need to know.
Yeah, for me it was actually different. I was like, no, what's gonna do now? It's gonna complicate things, now, especially when they were supposed to go to save the three of them in dungeons, to save Bexy and Hand, and in order to get away from River Queen and get Therion with them, Ethan has to fight someone, Of course I'm going to do that. Like, why the fuck would I ask, like, who? And they think it's Ariadne, the dragon shifter, but it's Sigrid, the lady he saved from Astronomer,
I mean, I love it. I love it. It's like.
And he accidentally
so
killed
fucked
her.
up. Yeah, it's so like entire thing with Ethan. He has like the purest motives of them all. Like he is very much fighting in order to provide his kind with better leadership, to create better world. Like he really tries to help his friends, help his pack. He like the motives are extremely noble, but the execution is just like one fucking disaster, and it's hilarious to me to follow his story.
Yeah, and I mean, like, poor guy. I mean, like, you remember the story when he says that Connor was talking about Bryce all the time, and that he came there and he fell in love with this girl, and he decided, I'm gonna marry her one day, and then his brother shows up. Oh, you met Bryce. Oh my god, no. But Bryce never actually looked at him as somebody she could be interested.
No. I think like she always saw him as her young brother.
Yeah, he was friend zoned from the beginning. I mean, poor guy, yeah. But that happens, right?
Yeah, and then Hypexia joins the disaster team.
Oh yeah,
disasters. Let's call them like disasters duo. and then like when they try to like raise a cigarette and
make her zombie.
Yeah, she turned like Reaper. I'm like, oh.
Well, I did not see that coming, but I love Jessiba there, She was...
I love Jessiba from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love how she was threatening everyone to turn them into little animals, and nobody knew if they ever...
I can relate.
But I like how she always gave advice to Ethan, Are you sure it's the best idea?
Yeah.
You really think that... It's like, yeah, I have to take a chance. Like... Listen to the woman, like she knows what she's saying. I do really
Like, she's like 15,000 years old. I mean...
And he knew it by now, you know, because she told him. He asked, and she's like, oh my god, she's like one of those characters. You have to ask questions. You have to ask questions in order to get some answer.
Mm-hmm.
They just cannot tell you straight. You know, it's like Bryce was working for years with her, you know, and she never told her this, and she told it to Ethan because Ethan asked her. So, what's up?
No, like...
What's the deal with you?
I really like Jasiba. I liked her kind of like attitude. She was portrayed as a woman with like a lot of power, sure of herself, or
rich as fuck.
Yeah. Sure of her sexuality. She held a lot of power. She was the second in command for the House of Flames and Shadow. Actually, she, not the Under King, but she was part of the, like, she participated on that meeting. What was the name of the meeting?
With the archangels and everything.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of that, but yeah, she did.
Very like businessy word.
I mean, but if you live 15,000 years, like, you have plenty of time to fuck up million of times, but also build yourself up, you know, and in 15,000 years, I'm not sure about myself and I don't have confidence, then the fuck was wrong with me? I mean, like, it's hard to build it up, you know, in 30 years. But, I mean, like, I'm gonna talk about, like, my favorite lady of current times of reality, you know, Jane Fonda. Oh. She's in her 80s now, I think. She's gorgeous. Like, always. And she's so confident. She's saying, like, I enjoy myself now. I love my life now more than when I was 17, when I was in my 20s.
Oh my god, but
30s.
Yeah, I mean...
It takes time.
It definitely takes time. I mean, I find myself appreciating myself and prioritizing myself much more now that I'm a bit older. Still young, but a bit older. And boy, it's gonna only get better.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't really understand, but, like, what's so great about having, like, I don't know, 18, 20 years? Like, you have zero means, you have very fucked up way of thinking, you don't have any experience, you second guess everything, you second guess yourself, like, you know shit about everything. Okay, the body is young and can take a lot, but I mean, honestly, even sex is much better now.
Now that we read Akotar.
Now, and this is actually yet again we had this discussion the other day with my husband about me reading too much romance literature and spy stuff, and he kind of like felt that this is, I am craving something he's not providing, which is not the case.
Oh my god, our husbands are so different.
I know.
Like, my husband is so happy about it.
But he doesn't really care if you think about Risan.
Yeah, he told me, like, oh, I don't mind that you're thinking of Risan, and I was like, oh, what?
No, and my husband was like, it again, like, he felt a bit insecure, and we had like really good discussions actually about this. So thank you, romance literature, and all the spice that is happening there for actually getting us to talk about that. And I figured out, like, I feel much more comfortable with my sexuality, and I think it's also like partly because I'm kind of like older and I know what I like, but also partly because that exposure to smutty books. Like, if you read a lot about sex, like, you kind of like start getting comfortable, start overcoming all that, you know, taboo and shame you are raised with when you are raised to be a good girl, people pleaser, and kind of like virgin till you get married, which is the kind of like not what I was specifically raised within, but it's the culture we were raised.
Yeah, that's kind of the ideal that what we should strive for, and none of us did. Let's be honest here. I'm totally against that. Like,
so and actually reading a lot about people having sex, I feel like it helped me kind of like get more comfortable with my own sexuality.
Yeah, I think so too. But actually, it also made me think, well, there's so much more to explore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
you're exploring with one person only now.
I don't mind that. Well, and you know, since I started to read about since I started to read those smutty books, my husband, he started to try much harder.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
he motivated.
He put a lot of effort there.
Oh well, he's reading it too, right? Like
no, he's not. He's still on the Assassin's Blade.
Okay, well, from Assassin's Blade you're not gonna get anything, but good.
I mean, like, it feels like he felt challenged by the smutty books, and
you should have given him Akotar. Yeah, the last one only. Nest and Castle.
I mean, like we discussed that the last time. Like we discussed that the other time. Like for women, that's like fantasy literature, like fictional work of fiction, and for men, that should be like instructional, educational literature. So maybe we can like highlight a couple of scenes and
yeah. Chapter
55 and.
Yeah, but not in this book.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, how did we get here into this topic from Jasiba?
Jasiba being very comfortable with
her I would like to be like Jasiba. Yeah, like Jasiba is my spirit animal there. We're all striving.
Yeah, and the fact that she spent like all those years protecting the knowledge of Parthos and humans, that was also something I can connect to because I love books as well.
And it's funny that she used to be a nun, right?
She used to be priestess,
and
not necessarily.
Yeah, but they are like different kind of priestesses, right? Like they're not Catholic Church priestesses. No. They don't even exist. Yeah. They are like free spirit priestesses. That sounds like fun.
I mean, honestly, like being a priestess that takes care of the books and kind of like she's sexy librarian.
Oh man, yeah.
Okay, that's why we love Jessica, I guess.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that always it's priestesses who are taking care of books also in other series?
I mean, like, obviously, you kind of... I feel it's because you have to give up your family life, because that would take precedence and, like, that would be your number one priority. And if the world would be ending and you have to decide either you grab your books or grab your kid, the choice is usually rather straightforward. Grab the books while you're grabbing the kid, obviously.
Interesting. When we were talking about male characters that are kind of weird, like Ethan, you know, like nice, but
he's a mess. He's a mess.
There's another mess, a hot mess.
Oh,
Tyrion.
Yeah. Tyrion.
And at the beginning, I was thinking about Tyrion like, oh, he was like this hot guy, you know, this mayor, you know, this mermaid. No, he's just a mayor, right? He was just like, I liked him. He had some spark. And then, by the end of the book, I was just sorry for him. I was like, oh my god, poor Tyrion, like making this like life-altering decision on a whim, you know? It's just like,
I'm gonna marry Satya.
Yeah, I mean, like...
I'm gonna become a slave of a Viper Queen.
Yeah, but even, like, how he ended up first in the... Like, engaged with the daughter of River Queen. I just wanna fuck her. I'm gonna get engaged.
I mean, he's very impulsive, that one.
And he seems like a right guy, you know, in that one shocking moment, if you remember. It was in the first book, when... there is somebody trading the black salt, you know, some rebellion, and Tyrion bring Bryce to the boat, and then she's shocked to see Hunt there. Yeah, I'm just like, you were also shocked. He just seems different than he seems later in the book, you know. Here, he's this, like, guy who's on a mission or something. He's helping Bryce. He's, like, protective there and everything. He's this strong male. And then later in books, he's all the time a hot mess. He is absolutely a hot mess. And one thing I really don't know, like, how the fuck he got the role of the captain of, like, intelligence for the River Queen. Yeah, I think that she gave him the job because her daughter liked him and got engaged with him. So she was like, okay, I have to give him a role. I think it was like that because
he doesn't strike me as very intelligent.
No, and he just doesn't think through things. He just does it. Also, like when they got to Avalon, right? Like he's on depth charger, you know, like they're all leaving because like that's where they're going, and he's a prisoner of Ocean Queen, and then he's like says like fuck this shit, and
oh my god,
and they're all pissed at him for a very obvious reason because like they really need alliance of Ocean Queen, and then he marries Satya. It's just like, man, like, you know, stop, think, then do, you know, and they were relying on him in so many situations. Like, yeah, he's gonna resolve it. And it was funny for me when Bryce actually sent him back to River Queen to ask for alliance with his wife. I think that was a revenge from her, you know. Like, let's kill him off already, you know.
Nah,
it's just like
honestly, no. But what I really liked that he was just like Little Mermaid retelling, because if you remember, he didn't really enjoy living under the water. He kind of like wanted to live in the city, and also he's ginger.
Oh yeah,
and it felt like he's exactly like Ariel. Like he wants more. He wants to be where the people are.
I thought you were gonna start singing now.
That was the intention. The execution was terrible, yeah.
So he just like stopped there, like it was like a Tyrion storyline. He started singing and then flat.
Yeah, I really cannot carry at you.
So
yeah, but basically that was the motive from The Little Mermaid. Like he wanted to be where the people are, not with his fellow mercs.
Yeah, and I'm curious what's gonna happen for him in the future books. But see, he wanted also Bryce's apartment. He wanted Bryce. All of them wanted Bryce. And got her, yeah. So Tyrion was definitely a fan character. He was the other one I was worried about. Like Ethan was number one, and then Tyrion like, now what he's gonna do is just yeah. Hypaxia was also a different character at the beginning and the end of the book. At first, like, okay, she was extremely smart, like we knew that,
but then something happened.
No, like she was getting more depth, you know, like she just started to, I don't know, get sloppy a little bit, because at the beginning she was like saving the day, you know, she got away the poison from Bryce, you know, she did all this stuff, you know, she was also a necromancer and everything, like she was great, but she became queen.
Yeah, but I think this is actually Sarah's problem, not Hypaxia problem. The way Hypaxia is written is not consistent, and like kind of like feels like she lacks consistency as a character.
Yeah, because I think at the beginning when I met her for the first time, she seemed confident. You know, okay, she was confident as a healer, and it's different to be confident as the Witch Queen, right? But she had this aura around her, and then she came to that like huge meeting, you know. And she showed up, and she carried herself as a queen, right? Like, and then we were in awe with her that, like, yeah, it's our girl. You know, she's suddenly this woman, and then she shows up again, like, oh, they wanna kick me out of the court. They want my sister to be the queen. Then she fucks up, like, you know, all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's adding depth into her character,
but not consistently. It just
like
feels very sloppy.
Down.
Very sloppy.
Yeah, it's going like it's starting here, it's going up, and then it just suddenly falls down.
Yeah,
and then I mean, at the end, she's the queen or the head of the house. Still, it's just like she's not the queen, and she's not like having that energy she had at the beginning.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, but I loved like her relationship with Tyrion, you know.
That was They were like I remember the one scene during the summit. The summit was the word I was looking for. During the summit, like they were exchanging glasses and they were like counting something, you know, like he was drawing like the lines, like when you are counting something. They had like some the inner jokes, and I really like the dynamics. And then it's like. It never was repeated again. Like, what a waste.
Yes, yeah. It was like really nice friendship, and again, flatline.
Yeah,
it's just for some reason. And then we have also like Bryce's friends. You know, like she had obviously Danica was number one, but then there was Fury and Juniper. We later learned that they were actually a couple. but we didn't learn much about them. We did just know about Juniper that she was like this fantastic dancer who was a fawn, so that's why like they were kind of racist towards her. That's why they didn't make, Then there was this Bryce's moment where she got there to fix the problem and she made a huge mess. I mean, like, yeah, that's why they're relatable, because they're making fucking mess, like all of them, like every single one of them. I think that fucked up greatly in these books. And then there is Fury, which is just this kind of like assassin, shows up, solves everything, But I think that I like to explore more these characters. I'd like to know more about them.
I really want to learn about Fury. Like, what is she? Who is she? Like, because like her like house allegiance was never actually explicitly stated, and you feel like there is something important going on, but you don't know what. Yeah,
and she's always like going on some missions. And there's definitely something going on, but we have no idea. And I just would like to mention like few storylines that got killed off. The first one and the saddest one, Lahaba. That
was... my god, that was... I mean... I cried.
It was like really crashing. I mean, we learned to like her, because with Danica and the Pack of Devils, we just didn't know much about them. We just knew that they were. We knew them for 100 pages, less than 100 pages. And then they were killed off, right? But we knew her. She was there. She loved, watching those reality shows.
Oh my god, yes.
and she was so...
and she was... I don't know, like... I don't know how to describe that personality in a good way. To me, she was pure joy.
Yeah.
She was pure joy despite being enslaved.
Yeah. And she was like she was totally like, spark.
Yeah, she was very sparkly, very like cheerful, sunshine. And I just love that. And when I was rereading The House of Blood and Earth, I was actually listening to graphic audio, and they did such an amazing job with the voice acting when it comes to Lahaba. She was just like perfect there. Everything you would imagine and even more. And I like she was like always positive, always full of energy, and she was trying like always to pick up Bryce when she was feeling down. Like she was the one, like, oh, bring hand over. She was
Hanty.
Hanty.
I love it.
And you have this really physically small, also when it comes to presence, rather smaller character, actually having that huge impact on the story when she sacrificed herself.
To give Bryce a few seconds.
Oh my god, I'm getting emotional like
But
that.
this is not the only one she actually played a role. Later when there was this big war, her story motivated the other sprites to show up, and join the battle again. And so she was really precious. What I didn't like was sometimes like Bryce's rude behavior with her. She was like really mean to her.
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't like. But then at the end, like she actually bought her freedom.
Yeah.
And this was like her final act of freedom. The first act of freedom.
Yeah, first act of freedom was to save her friends.
Yeah, and that was just...
It was like very, very emotional, very, very strong scene there.
Yeah, so I mean, like when we are talking that usually like Sarah gives us characters that are not like goodies. They have all flaws and everything. That I think that she was exception. I think that she was just like really that joy. I don't think she had anything bad about her.
I think the interesting thing was like she was kind of downplayed, but on purpose. Like, oh, she's watching these stupid TV shows, Fangs and Bangs. I would totally watch it. She's very bubbly and kind of like downplayed as, I wouldn't say like stupid, but silly, not important. And then she goes and have this grand gesture
and save the day.
And that's like really emotional for me. It really wakes your emotions, and you suddenly care so much. And I got all teary when I was reading about that.
Yeah. And then I think there were just two more characters that were killed off: Sophie and Cormac.
Yeah.
Well, they are in Afterlife together, and Afterlife seems like pretty cool.
I
place to
mean,
be.
yeah. Oh. And yet again, this is something that Sarah does, right? Like, I feel like she really has problems to killing all her characters. I mean, Bryce died and was brought back to life on a number of occasions.
Mm-hmm. Also, Hunt was like literally saved just before like dying.
I mean, like, every time somebody dies in those books, like, I'm like, nah, there is 50 chance they're gonna be brought back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like kind of Cormac exploded himself, and Sophie was drowned. I thought that Sophie survives for a long time until they found her body.
Yeah. Honestly, I absolutely forgot about Sophie. Like, I forget about Sophie most of the time because, like, she was... It felt like it was interesting. I feel like it was wasted potential because she was felt like inconsequential to the plot.
Mm-hmm. And you know when she got to when they went to search for her body in Avalon.
Yeah.
First of all, why the fuck did the king of Avalon had her body? Like, why would Ocean Queen give him the body? And second of all, when they came there, like the whole palace, everything exploded, and well, they didn't need her body after all. So
yet again, inconsequential.
It just didn't make any sense, you know. Like I would expect something with that.
But yet again, the recurring theme with the third book, right?
Yes, we expected a little bit more from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we have a bunch of really interesting, diverse characters with great character development, and then we have a bunch of characters that are just, like, one-dimensional evil.
Yes, and usually, like, in Sarah books, she's always, even if they're evil, there are very little characters that are truly evil. Although all of them usually have a reason, or have something good in them.
Or have a, like, interesting backstory why they turn evil.
Yeah, so it's always, like, it's not, like, one-dimensional, and here there are like shitloads of them who are one-dimensional.
And the biggest letdown for me was the Autumn King.
Yes, and I was hoping.
I was waiting. I was waiting for the moment when there will be like redemption arc for him.
Yeah, and he was talking a lot of time. Like he was talking all the time how he loved Amber, Bryce's mother. You know.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but why did you hit her? I regret it every day. Blah blah blah. Okay. Well, you have temper issues, and it's good for her that she left you, but you might have regrets. I'm buying it, right? Like, yeah, and he's like repeating this story all the time.
And it felt like we were building towards something, and then we flatlined again.
Like, incompletely.
Literally flatlined.
Yeah, and I'm like, he was doing, like, he had these oracles there, or like whatever it is, you know, like, oh, no, how is it called? Like, those planetarian... Oraries, yeah. And he was studying all the time about this, you know, and even when he got a Bryce and he wanted to get Bryce and Morven together, I really felt like he wanted to protect her. Like,
right, I was waiting for that moment when he will do this big reveal, like, I'm not a bad guy, I'm just acting as a bad guy in order to protect someone.
And he turned out to be like total shit without like no redemption, nothing. It's just like, and then do I believe that he really loved Amber, that he really loved Bryce?
Honestly, at that point I didn't care anymore.
No,
I was so angry. I was like, it felt like Sarah was like, you expect something, so I'm gonna do the you know, I'm gonna subvert your expectations. Mm-hmm. But the execution was rather poor, in my opinion.
Yeah. And from Morven, from Cormac's father, we also didn't expect much.
I mean, like, I didn't expect that much. Like,
but he was like totally like Andrew Tate of Avalon. The total misogynic piece of shit nobody's interested in. Yeah, that kind of...
Good riddance, I'm like...
So I kind of like...
I feel like zero regrets about
No. And
demise.
also I don't get, like, their behavior towards their son. So Cormac's, like, he had his redemption. He changed, you know, like, because first he wanted to kill Arun back in the day with his friend, with murder twins. But he changed, you know, and he joined rebels. But he wanted to, like, more when he was trying to beat the shit out of that from his... any kindness, any sparkles of kindness from his son. Same for Autumn King. He was burning Rune. Like, why the fuck?
He was just using Rune just to get his like first light for his or stuff and like studying the starlight.
Yeah, it's just like it just didn't make any sense, right? Like, and I know like they are like all descendants of this Pelias guy who was also rapist, misogynist, piece of shit. I loved actually how Helena, how she played on that misogyny card with Pelias, to build all that, tunnels and everything, and she counted on the fact that they're gonna be fucking misogynists for like next 15,000 years,
Yeah.
So that they're not gonna get there, and Bryce said like, fuck it, I'm going there, I destroy patriarchy.
Yeah.
So she kind of knew that like there's gonna be some her great granddaughter who's gonna solve.
Also, what I like, we kind of like start with this narrative that Pelias. Potato. He's depicted as a hero that helped defeated Princes of Hell and the Savior. Like, and this is funny, like how manipulating the history and like the way you are telling the story. It's a complex thought, and I got lost there. But anyways, it's interesting, like how Astor decided to paint him in the certain picture, and then we kind of dismantle that picture. We learn he was just a rapist asshole who sold Thea, then forced himself on Helena in order to propagate that starborn bloodline.
Yeah, and I said something interesting because it's so common, to do this, to distort like the history, like to play in your cards. That's how you nowadays you start the war and you just make up the history just to justify it. Yeah. And those people who are supporting you, like they're not gonna like look into that, so they're gonna support it. And I mean, like we read it also in some other books, right? But it reminds me, I was reading about independence of Brazil. And I was reading about this princess who was actually a daughter of Maria Teresa of Austria. And she got married to this Portuguese guy. They went to Brazil and became queen and king of Brazil.
Okay.
And then Brazil was still colony of Portugal. And I forgot their name, I really apologize. But she was actually the force behind Brazil becoming an independent nation,
Oh, really?
She was also, like, she was much more capable than her husband. She actually took reins in her hands. Her father was, like, emperor in Austria. Actually, then she was probably not daughter of Maria Teresa, but, like, her son. I don't remember exactly. But she was, like, one of the daughters, like, one of the princesses that were of Habsburg Empire that were married out. And I have a friend from Brazil, and I told her this, and she was shocked.
Like she didn't know.
No, she didn't know about. She knew that she existed, but she knew the story about her husband, that he was the one who started, like, who put everything together, and Brazil became an independent state. But it wasn't him. It was actually her. It was her.
Oh yeah, but I feel like this is actually happening a lot. Like. With internet and people actually creating content because they are passionate and care about like the history and all these like little events, we start to learn much more than the mainstream history books history.
Yeah, but let's not get to alternative history.
Oh yeah.
Like, some people are making up some total weird bullshit there. Which has nothing to do with the reality. Let's talk about facts that are supported by reality, because so many women were lost in history.
Oh yeah, because like a lot of historians were men, and obviously they kind of and the society back then really downplayed the female role.
Back then. Not now. It's still happening, but it's different. And I think it was about Korea, about women in history there. Like, they are not mentioned. Like, they're, even in history books, they're mentioned never by their name, but always as a wife of someone. And if they're ever mentioned, it's something like bad they did.
Oh yeah, the fun fact, we have this cemetery nearby,
old one.
The very old cemetery, which is a really really great place to actually
take babies to sleep.
yeah, and because it's quiet, it has like a lot of shade because of all the trees and stuff.
Yeah,
and it has like a lot of old tombs, and if you notice, like on some of the old tombs, when the wife is buried together with her husband, on some she is not referred by her name, but only as wife of the guy who is buried over here.
Yeah, but it's also the issue with our surnames, you know, like we are either like daughter of a man or a wife of a man. That's how we are taking their surnames. I know, like sometimes it's changing, but it's like, I mean, we took our husband's surnames.
Yeah, but the and this is really complicated to explain in English because like in English it's not word. But actually I dropped the ova.
Yeah, we actually changed. Yeah, me too.
And I dropped that on purpose because. Well, it's kind of like it's translated as like my name, like belonging to my last name husband, belonging to my husband, right? That's how the surnames works. So, like it's different for female, the different form for female and different form for man. And actually, I dropped that last part because I didn't. I wanted kind of like have the common surname, and I dropped the last part because I didn't want to be perceived as owned by my husband.
Wow, that's interesting. You know, like because it's like so normal in our language, and actually it's by law in our language that we should have it there. But for example, my husband we are from different countries. So for me, it was not a problem to have without this ending, you know, and I would never want it there. And also, second thing why I chose my husband's surname is because it's much better. I hated my maiden surname.
What was your maiden surname?
Prostredna. Well, it means like my maiden surname meant middle.
In the middle?
Middle. Yeah, and I just didn't like it because like everyone was people were making fun of it.
Yeah.
But also I didn't like it. I didn't feel like average or middle. I never wanted to be average or middle, and I just couldn't connect with that. It was, and also like problematic to pronounce for English speaking person or people in different countries. It's like really hard surname. So I like mine now because it's short. I have a long name, so it's just fit nicely, you know, and I like it. I mean, I wouldn't change it. Probably if I married again, I wouldn't change it anymore.
No, it suits you well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I married my husband for his surname, and yeah, that's like now you know, and then the six pack, of course.
Priorities, obviously.
Yeah, and we got to this topic from talking about. Yeah, I'm just sometimes like trying to figure out like how we ended up here. We were talking about manipulating history, right?
Yeah, exactly, and how
women are lost in history. I think it's changing now. Now we are getting to different kinds of manipulation, even of present day, right? We are in some past factual world right now.
Yeah.
So it's getting even more crazy. But I encourage you to read about like these women of the past, and there is this Instagram woman. I just have to.
Look it up. Let's give out some recommendations.
I have to give you a recommendation because she's making so interesting reels. Like,
and if you are spending time scrolling on Instagram, you might as well learn something interesting.
Yeah, it's called History with Amy. It's Dr. Amy Boyington. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but she's making like look at it. I mean, she's making these reels about. You have probably never heard of those people, or some of them are maybe more famous.
Do you know who Georgina Ward is? I have no fucking idea. But you can learn that from her.
It's just like so interesting. So I like recommend History with Amy again. History with Amy. Check it out, like, and I like it. You know, like I like learning about these people I would never heard about, like. In school, and probably you had the same, you know, we were learning all about these wars.
Yeah, but it again, and maybe that's like very specific to our culture and our part of the world, but it felt like history was all about remembering the dates and not really understanding the implications, why is this happening, and like the entire way the educational system works here is like not really encouraging critical thinking. It's just like you have to memorize the dates, you have to memorize some rules, you have to like don't ask why, just do what you are told to.
I mean, like and I know about wars in ancient Greek. Why?
Like, I mean, it's interesting, obviously, but
it's interesting. But I'm more interested in this life of this like princess who created like independent Brazil.
Oh yeah,
and not this guy who took the credit for that. Like, come on, and there's so many of them, you know. Like, yeah. let's not go there. I even like scientists, like female scientists, you know, like who were pushed aside. There are so many stories of them.
Have you seen the Hidden Numbers movie? Oh, it's beautiful. It's all about the group of women that were responsible for calculating math that was critical for Apollo mission.
Oh, no, I didn't, but...
Recommend, definitely go watch it.
It's the one about, well, is there the mom of Jack Black, or is it a different one? It's different Apollo mission.
No, that's a different one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so mother of Jack Black.
Oh, yeah.
She was a fucking genius. She was engineer on Apollo 13 mission. Yeah.
And she was in, like giving birth to Jack Black when she solved some critical problem that saved the entire mission.
Yeah. So, yeah, see, women can do anything when they're pregnant and giving birth, apparently.
But also outside of that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't come up with anything revolutionary when I was giving
birth.
Yet. But maybe my brain, you know, like, got altered a bit. So, yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, and about the evil characters, I mean, we have the Pollack, Sandriel, all of those stupid Asteri. We had Sabine, Astronomer, you know, Micah, like, all those archangels. It's just like, it's like too many of them. And then some...
But honestly, like, they were, like, shit ton of characters.
Yes.
There were, like, a lot of them.
Yes.
Like, above average for the length of the series.
Yeah.
It was like the entire world was huge.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, I really like that immense world building, that universe that was created, and the fact that it's like interconnected with other series as well. But I think maybe it got too big for Sarah to handle. Mm-hmm. And then kind of like, again, she took some shortcuts when resolving some conflicts, and some characters got like, you mentioned it, they flatlined. Like the hologram Silene thing. I mean, like, there was like so much information. It was very difficult for me to keep track of that. Also, when Bryce was in Prithian, and we were switching between Prithian and Midgard, like, the way it was executed, I had a hard time to keep up, and I felt like always abruptly taken out of the story and then thrown to another one.
Exactly, and I felt like every chapter like that. So sometimes you know what I did? I just skipped a few chapters for it like to continue, and then I came back.
Definitely, like, that's what I would do. Actually, like, put those pieces together to kind of like have a longer, consistent piece of what is happening, and then kind of like we can go back to Prithian, and then we can go back to Midgard. It felt like it was done in order to make it more fast-paced, but with overload of information, and it made it like really hard to follow up and read for me.
Yeah. And actually, it's good that you mentioned Prithian, because I think like the reading order of like all these series.
No.
I think that Akotar or Throne of Glass, you can read like either of them as first, but I think that Crescent City should be the last of those three, because like we don't like, imagine that you read Crescent City and now you went to Akotar world, and you
definitely you cannot do that, because obviously
Brisson, Nesta, especially Nesta, you know,
especially like, Nesta and Azrael, because they play kind of huge part there.
You know, I was excited when she got there, and then I was let down a little bit.
Exactly, like after, and I remember I read Akotar, then I read first and second book of Crescent City, and I was waiting for the third book to come out. And when I read the last chapter, when she landed in Prithia, I was like, oh my god! I was so fucking excited. And maybe that's like one of the factors why I felt so disappointed in the third book, because there was a huge hype. There were high expectations from like entire fandom, and then
they were in catacombs for like the entire time, and then they had the info dump from Silan, which was incredibly boring to me. I couldn't. I was falling asleep when I was reading. Like, I don't care anymore.
Like, honestly, like, I had to take like notes and draw the graphs and all the stuff, because I got lost there.
Yeah, it was just like too much information in such a short space.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I liked when she kind of pushed her family there, and Nesta took them in and gave her mask. But then she got there, and it was nice that Amber actually gave Nesta what she never got from her mother. I like that scene. She like
couldn't we get more of that?
Yeah, but I think it was a nice touch, because that's what we know from Akotar that Nesta didn't get, and now she did, and that's probably why she liked Bryce, and they were like in some way they were very similar and very different. Well, they had what I loved about that, when Cassian was there. And then Hunt was there, and they were like all like watching the situation. Should they jump in? Should they kill Bryce? Should they kill Nesta? It was like very. It was like really funny, and I liked when Bryce said like I can imagine why Nesta would end up with a guy like this. I mean, Cassian is basically Hunt in a way. They are like very similarly described. And
for the ones that are not watching and just listening, we are implying
I think people know what we are implying.
The wingspan.
The wingspan. Both of them
they have wings.
Well, a little bit different, but yeah, I totally can imagine some fan fiction there. Not encouraging anyone, but I would read it. Maybe we can write it. What was actually your favorite scene in the whole series?
I loved the entire showdown with Micah. I was fucking devouring. I was inhaling those pages. It had everything. Emotions, action. It was funny. Even the inside joke when they pushed Micah into bathroom and closed him there, like I was like really chuckling, and then there was this sentence like it would be funny the fact that you can like the godlike creature got locked in a bathroom if it weren't so dangerous or something. So I think like it had everything then. And yet again, the usual Sarah J. Maas modus operandi. Last like 100, 200 pages, everything happens. And it was like so packed with action, with interesting twists. Like it was, the pace was like the entire showdown in House of Earth and Blood was chef's kiss. Really, I love that.
And it ended up with her vacuuming mic.
Oh my god, that was so badass. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
That was pure Bryce for me.
Yeah,
that was
I
pure
loved
Bryce.
it. I really
that
loved it.
And also then when Bryce did the drop with Danica, that was also very emotional. When Hunt jumped in to save Bryce from the nuclear exposure, the
missiles.
The missiles, yeah. And she says like, I love you, and he was like, say it to my face, you coward. I was like, I'm living for this shit.
Yeah, and I mean like, what the fuck happened after? Like they had this moment in the end of the book number 2, and then we get into book number 3.
They're living together, like roommating, basically.
Yeah, and they're waiting, right? Like they're waiting for like winter solstice or something like that. Like it just felt like so disconnected. Like they're like 2 other people. I felt they are 2 other people after
like
this.
The different people.
Yeah, and also I felt like when we mentioned Lydia and Rune, I felt like after she woke up that they were 2 different people.
Okay.
Even after the kids and they left and everything, it's just like it didn't feel like them anymore. It's just like that was kind of weird.
What was the scene that stuck with you? What was your favorite? You mentioned the
one she was cleaning him in the shower. It's just because like it gave me so much emotions. I felt the love, as I said. Like it was just, I want to feel something when I'm reading books. I just don't want to like, follow the and here it was like very very strong. It just was a pity that it didn't continue.
Yeah, like really, the first book was masterpiece for me. Like really, it was kind of like Throne of Glass level for me.
Really,
I was. And maybe the issue is just like really high expectations after that first book, and like, okay, the second book wasn't that bad. The third one had like a lot of issues, but if the first one wasn't so good, I wouldn't be so pissed about the second and third one. But I do get it. Like really, the world building in those books is insane. There's like a lot of complexity when it comes to like we are introduced to kind of interesting magic system. We are introduced to different houses. There's like different politics. Like for example, in the beginning, the way humans are perceived as inferior compared to all the other species, that was like really interesting. Like social commentary on the like for example. If you notice, like humans don't have representation on the summit or in the like city leadership. When the shit went down with the creatures of hell invading Lunathia, nobody went to really like none of the authorities went to protect Fodal Meadows. So you can see like how inferior, how neglected human race is compared to Vanir.
Isn't it common in her books?
Obviously, like if you have like
no power.
species with magic and physical strength and like near god or godlike creatures, obviously humans with none of it.
Yeah, and our short lifespan, we're basically like rats of the. No, but seriously, like how much a rat lives? Like few years, you know, and then you think about an elephant or a giraffe or whatever.
Yeah. What I really like is reverse when in our real world. We behave like the arrogant Vanir.
True. Yeah, that's
and
true.
You know, like really not being respectful or mindful towards minorities, people, or our own environment. And that arrogance is actually taken and made into feature of those ruling classes, which is like really nice social commentary on her part.
That is. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but I liked it.
Yeah, and then the Asteri, it feels like they were built to resemble like Roman Empire. Wait, if you remember, they had like this SP.
SPQM or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they are all
the
by the Empire.
Which is also like the abbreviation used by Romans. Aster lived in Eternal City, you know. Rome is called Eternal City, and like all this, you know, yet again with legions and like the armies were constructed in a similar way as the Roman army was. That was also interesting.
It is. And I like actually like how she made a speech about angels and hell, that the hell is actually the good ones, the good guys, and then angels are assholes. And you know what's actually interesting to me, that Hunt, he had these similar gifts as Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Yet they killed off Thunderbirds, and yet they let him live. Even after rebellion, they didn't kill him out.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird, like, to me. It was a little bit inconsistency, I think.
Yeah, that feels like plot hole.
Let's talk about the Oracle and about...
Yeah, let's start with the Oracle.
Okay, let's start with Oracle.
So Oracle had a couple of predictions. With Bryce, that is pretty straightforward. Like, poor thing was blinded by the starlight.
Yeah,
she didn't like that.
And Idas knew what's going on. And he showed up, and I really hoped for something to happen there. Never happened. But anyways, we learned about his love story with...
Thea.
Exactly.
Then Hand actually goes to Oracle.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to know anything about the actual future, right?
But the Oracle gives the advice anyways, and says, surprise, surprise, stay away from Bryce Quinlan.
And what Hand does? Jumps there. Right, like she's the one.
Definitely does not stay away. Again, recurring. This is the recurring thing, like Bryce. It was Fury when, in the first book, when Hand was actually captured by Sandriel. And Fury comes to Bryce and says like, Bryce, I want to tell you something, that please don't do anything stupid. And tells her about Bryce, about him being in condominium. And then what our girl does, something stupid. She jumps in, shows up in condominium, kind of like sacrifices her amulet, fucking priceless amulet, then tries to sacrifice like
herself.
Yeah, in exchange for his life, like yeah.
Yeah, she does like very weird stuff, and she's emotional. And also, let's not forget Micah telling Han not to fuck her, otherwise he's gonna cut his hook. Well, he didn't. He cut his wings. Well, but it didn't stop him. Definitely not.
No, the attraction was too strong between them.
Yeah, and they were mates after all. And they could feel it. And let's about Rune.
Yeah, and that's the one actually that I don't feel like it's straightforward to me. Like, because what Oracle says to Rune, that he will be the end of the bloodline.
Yeah.
The royal bloodline. You would expect, like, either he will, as he mentioned, either he will die before having an offspring, or something, right? And this is one of the reasons he is reluctant to acknowledge Bryce as part of his family, because he is afraid, like, if he is supposed to end the bloodline, she's in danger as well, because, like, she's not supposed. Yeah, she's not supposed to survive that. And then it gets, like, really confusing, because I don't feel like the Oracle prediction actually got fulfilled. Because technically it was Bryce who was last of the royal bloodline, and she dismantled the entire monarchy type of shit going on within the Fae realms.
Yeah, but maybe the Oracle was misogynist, and they were like, you are the male heir.
Oh, you are the last male that will
Yeah.
be kind of...
Yeah, because, like, then it's, like, actually not his royal line anymore, like, the male one, because she's still Danon, but her husband, his Hunt Azar, right? Hunty. Those little Hunty is not gonna be Danons anymore. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's because of the male line.
Do you think, like, they are actually going after fucking surname instead of genetic information?
All those people are misogynist, especially the king. And would she actually be a queen unless she murdered them? I mean, like, he wanted her to be. He wanted her to marry someone and to go away.
Yeah. So, the Autumn King.
Yeah, to actually marry her cousin.
Not fucked up. I mean, okay.
Like,
but within royalty and Targaryens, obviously that's okay.
Not just here. I mean, like, let's think about whole European.
Yeah. Well, the real world, the royalty and Targaryens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a kind of like it. I felt I interpret it in a different way. I in my head, the bloodline actually, the royal bloodline actually ended with Bryce Sheen, since she was like the last queen in the like she was the last one, last royal of that bloodline.
Yeah, that's possible. So, well, there's definitely Holland. I think there are a couple of more that were not really explained. So, what's the deal with Vesperus and Hesperus?
Glad you asked. So, yeah, so we know there are like 7 Asteri. 7, this much. 7 Asteri in Midgard. Well, originally there were 7, 1 got killed. Sirius got eaten by Apollyon, the Star Eater.
How awesome is it?
And one of the Asteri is named Hesperus, which is the evening star. And when Bryce drops into Prithian and they kind of like go through those tunnels and go through that chamber and go like even deeper, like literally go deeper, because they fall through the floor into like secret chamber. They find someone who says like, yeah, you scum, you can call me Vesperus. Vesperus. And Bryce is confused, like, are you related to our Hesperus, the evening star? And she's like, I am the evening star. So, and you feel like this is important information. Like, you are building towards something.
Yeah.
And you never get anything, like...
And also...
And this is actually, like, what would definitely haunt my nightmares if I would be losing sleep over Crescent City and the plot holes and like things unanswered. Like, what the fucking hell?
Yeah. And
why they are like called the same?
Yeah, and it's not all because Vespers, she was killed by Nesta, right? And Asteri couldn't be killed like that. They were killed by the black hole, the void.
Yeah.
and the Star Eater, because to kill the star you have to have darkness, right? Which is gonna eat it, and the only darkness that can eat it is actually a black hole. So,
and Vesper was killed, like she was weakened by.
But she was weakened, yeah.
By Star Sword and the dagger, and then like Nesta used Ataraxia to cut off her head.
Yeah.
But Asteroid couldn't be. And the thing is, when Nesta cut off her head, it's mentioned like her blood was dark.
Yeah. So maybe it wasn't. Maybe this creature
was not Asteri.
Was not Asteri, and we are getting into other book series, and I think that we can like discuss it more deeper in the Massverse.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I'm starting to be like more connected to the other theory, you know, that this wasn't an Asteri or Daglan. This was a creature pretending.
So, but and my question would be, okay, is this just like this one? Supposedly, we think that she's Daglan. And for a second, we think like Daglan equals Asteri. But there is possibility like all Daglan were Asteri because of the kill switch that is implemented on both planets, on the both worlds. Or it's just like Daglans are Asteri, or Daglans are different than Asteri but using the same mechanics. Maybe Daglans aren't Asteri, but Asteri also occupied. I mean, like, oh my god, there's something. What if it is the fucking same person, and we are living in parallel universes? Is it too much?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's go to this. I mean, like back at Asteri, you know, when first of all there were 7, now there are 6 because one of them.
Yes.
She kills one because she creates the black hole.
She killed Polaris as a first.
Yeah, and then it means
we are down to 5.
We are down to 5, and she takes 4 into the black hole. She creates.
Yeah, Bridgels and the other 3.
Yeah,
and then we are like one left. Like, okay, there's implicitly stated like the
time slow, but we never heard.
But also, when you kill Archangel, the time slows. The time slowed when she killed Micah, and time slowed when Hunt killed Sandriel. So maybe the slowdown of the time wasn't because of the death of Asteri,
but maybe an Archangel. We don't know what will happen with that one. Like, we have one missing.
Technically, we have one missing.
Yeah, because we don't know. Like, it was never confirmed that he was killed, and also how he was killed.
And what? By any chance, do you remember if it was the Hesperus one or the different one?
I'm not sure which one, because we don't know which one it was. Or I don't know. I can check how much time. So.
Okay, let's look deeper into that, and let's circle back to this Vesperus dilemma in our Massverse episode.
Yes, definitely. And also one very interesting thing, and I would love to have a physicist here to explain to us. Okay, first of all, we know that Bryce is opening portals to other worlds. Essentially, she's creating wormholes, right? And the funny thing is actually her black holes, because in the scene, you know, like there is a planet kill switch. And that's the crystal thing there.
Yeah, the first light core.
Yeah. And she destroys it, right? And then suddenly, like, there is this black hole and starts sucking in everything, right? And in order to save the world, she created another black hole to suck in her black hole. And suck in everyone.
No. She creates a wormhole
to a black hole.
To a black hole, so the little black hole gets sucked into the large black hole. So, question to any physicist we have over here.
And she can't close the. She dies, and the wormhole closes by itself.
Well, almost closed because it's held by power of love.
Oh yeah. Of course it is. It's always like that.
So yeah. The like very important question is: can a little black hole be sucked in by the bigger black hole?
Probably it can. You know, because like they are having like their like a huge gravitational force, and they are like, we have to look into that, but I think it's possible.
Okay.
Me as a physicist of like no education,
Are you?
I read a book about the quantum physics. It made me quantum physicist. No, I don't know. I think it's possible. I actually think it's because like why not? Because
also it's fantasy. So okay, let's.
Yeah, because like they can like they have the pull, gravitational pull, and they have huge and like eventually they will get close, right? Like they like two black holes. I think it's possible to get close to each other, and the bigger one wins. Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I mean like her black hole sucked her in as well, and there's this Regal's like he's trying to survive, but he can't because. Well, whatever he has, like first of all, she sucked in his power. Second of all, even if he had it, the black hole is gonna take him. I mean, if he was the sun itself, like black hole would, you know.
I mean, if he gets like close enough to that black hole, he will get sucked in. But I still think like there's still a slight possibility. Like he could like float around for another 15 years.
Without oxygen?
50. He doesn't need oxygen.
Well, they were struggling to breathe, all of them.
Were they? I don't know. Okay.
When I read it, I
Bryce was struggling to breathe.
Yes, she was, but
because like the only thing they need is the first one. Like basically, they are feeding off the energy.
But I think like even if you are not close, like on the event horizon, it's gonna suck you like 100%. But like even when you are closer to black hole, like imagine like for example, we are on this Earth like a circling sun because of the gravitational force of sun. And black hole is much more powerful than our sun. So even if our sun was a black hole, it would suck or like, and I guess they were closer than that. But then again, like it's funny that Hunt is stronger than the gravitational force of black hole.
Oh, he has this mech suit with the soul of his dead ex-girlfriend.
Honest physics.
I mean.
And
I had to like suspend my disbelief so much by the end of the third book. But it still makes a great conversation. Let's give her that.
Yeah, well, he's like, and you know what's actually interesting? I don't know if you knew, but time is a construct. And time is flying differently, you know, like here on Earth, like here on this couch and here it goes like differently. But it's so tiny that you don't realize it. So on Mount Everest and by the sea in Greece, like time really goes like different speed. It's possible to measure, and it really depends on gravitational force also. We watched Interstellar, so you get it. So the black hole, I think the time slows down there, right?
But listen, another thing is that every time asteroid is killed,
time
slows because asteroids are stars, and stars are killed. When stars are killed, they kind of like implode and create black hole, and that's the reason they're like tiny black holes that without major gravitational pull. But still, okay.
No, stars become like black holes. No, like they can like you know.
But Polaris, when Bryce killed Polaris, she created like the.
But yeah, and the black hole sucked it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it like when. I don't know if sun can or star can implode or explode only. I don't know. Okay, we are now going into territory. We're gonna start so.
We definitely like the next.
But no physicists are actually listening to. I'm pretty sure.
We have to find a physicist that enjoys reading romantasy.
So can explain to us.
And like sit down, have that person as a guest, and.
Yeah, because I mean, the sun can become a dwarf. You know, or it can become a supernova or something like that. So it can probably become a black hole. But I don't know, like, what's the physics behind it. And I feel so like it's funny, like some people have so strong opinions and know exactly about stuff they have no idea about. And I feel just so stupid now. And it's just thinking about it, like, am I saying something was wrong? But I'm following NASA on. They sometimes mention stuff I remember, but like. And I read few books, but I don't know like what exactly happened to a star, but well, I'm pretty sure he would get sucked in 100%. That's what I'm sure about. And yes, there might be like different possibilities to kill a star, but then again, like they don't have star energy. Like,
that is true. Like they are
they
kind of
run
like
on first light.
Yeah. Which is also
They suck other people's energy. Like they are no stars.
okay. It feels like
Very confusing.
Yeah.
Sarah. Very confusing. I hope that you discuss it with some physicists. You know, it just reminds me of one thing. You know, like this series Emily in Paris in Netflix.
I know of the series, never watched that.
You don't have to. Anyways, well, it's like if you want your brain to take vacation, that's kind of stuff. I mean, it's pretty in Paris and blah blah. But she's in marketing. I'm in marketing, and when I'm watching it, I mean, I've never worked in an advertising agency, but it's so stupid, you know. And now I wondered. I just wrote to my friend who is actually in an advertising agency. She told me she gave up on that series because she just couldn't watch it anymore. And I just wrote, do doctors feel like this when they are watching like?
Probably they do. Probably
Yeah,
they do.
probably like it's very similar feelings like we are feeling here, and then I'm thinking like, what actual physicist would feel like? Because you know when there is a movie like Interstellar. They actually
they have shitload of consultants.
Yeah, for example, Kip Thorne, like his Nobel Prize laureate for physics, he was one of those advisors there. You know, so like they like to keep it around like some. I mean, like many of those things are obviously unproven even in Interstellar. You know, like. We know what can happen in black hole, but like then I read that probably would become a spaghetti, and he didn't become like it didn't happen to him. You know, so there are like many theories, like and they like played on some, you know. So it's not like it's like this. So I'm curious what. Oh, it's raining.
Let's do the kiss, marry, kill.
Kiss, marry, kill. Oh, okay. Kiss Connor. Marry Hunt. Kill Regalos.
Huh.
What about you?
I would kiss Ethan.
Okay.
Because I just feel sorry for
Yeah,
him.
like Connor already got his kiss.
Yeah.
So.
Mary Hunt, obviously. And kill motherfucking Autumn King.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he had it coming.
I was angry about him. And he hit my girl, Amber. You don't do that. You don't do that.
No. Okay. So, and would you rather live underwater with the River Queen or be a princess in King of Avalon Court?
I'll go with River Queen any day. Because I'm like, honestly, I would probably go crazy. I mean,
I would go crazy in both places.
Both places, but still, I would prefer to actually stay with like less misogynistic courts.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me too. Okay. So, and would you date Ethan or Tyrion?
I would date Ethan. I like the hot mess.
Yeah, they're both a hot mess. I would go for Tyrion. Just because he had the spark at the beginning.
Oh yeah. And he's ginger.
Yeah, but in my head, I don't know why I skipped. My brain skipped that line when she said he was red haired, and he was dark in my head.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very handsome.
Dark
in my head.
Like the Aquaman.
No, different. Like no, I don't know how to describe him. He just looks perfect in my head. It's just too bad for his storyline to go so messy. So.
And what about houses? Which house do you think you would go on?
Let me see.
What are the options, right?
Dobre, House of Earth and Blood, there are shifters, humans, witches, and ordinary animals. House of Sky and Breath, there are Malakim.
Oh, hold it. If ordinary animals are part of the house, how come they are never part of any summit or anything?
That's a good question.
But also humans are part of the house and are not.
Yeah. So they're like
not represented. Okay.
Maybe they're ordinary animals. House of Sky and Breath, they're Malakim, so angels, fae, elements, sprites. I like this one. I want to be Sky and Breath. House of Many Waters, so river spirit, mare, water beasts, nymphs, kelpies, nox, etc. House of Flame and Shadow, Demonaki, reapers, wraiths, vampires, draki, dragons, necromancers, and many wicked and unnamed things.
I like the part wicked and unnamed things, and this is something I can identify with. So flame and shadow for me.
Yeah, and what kind of a creature would you be?
Something unidentified. I don't know. I mean, like I like witches. Mm-hmm. Well, no, I like Hypaxia. I don't like witches here.
She's necromancer.
Yeah, she is. That's cool. I like Jasiba, but she also is like not part of any house by birth, right? Mm-hmm. No, honestly, like I probably would just like old regular human and die very quickly.
Yeah.
Nah.
I don't know, honestly, because everyone sucks here, even Faye sucks here. And I usually want to be Faye.
I wanna be a fire sprite. They are fierce. They enjoy trash TV. Yep. They are ready to protect and die for their friends. I like that in a person, so I identify now as a fire sprite.
I love to be shifted, even though it's in different house than I chose before.
And what animal would you shift into? I know, like we discussed that in our very first episode about you and your spirit animal.
All of them. You mean like, no, I wouldn't like to be orca. It's kind of weird. It's black and white and huge and would be in the ocean. No, I'd like to probably fly somewhere. So maybe to my Rowan guy. And yeah, so please join us for our Master podcast after this one. So I guess we are at the end.
Yeah. We finished the series. We have one more Sarah J. Maas episode coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can hear we have very heavy rain right now. I'm happy about actually, even though I'm going into the rain.
But you're here by car, right?
Yeah, but the car is at the end of the street.
I can borrow you an umbrella.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thank you everyone for listening to us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to us on Spotify, listen to our older episodes, periods.
Episodes about periods.
Yeah, we have one or two.
Yeah, probably. And follow us on Instagram as well.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye.
So thank you very much for listening to the High on the Bookshelf podcast with Barb and Simi.
If you enjoyed this episode, you can rate and follow this podcast and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We're also on Instagram, so follow us on bookshelf_pod.
See you next time.
Bye.